Hey, how you doing? It's your boy DE Astrology, um, and I'm here to talk about the Sun in Aries. So, uh, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's also a fire sign, and it's cardinal. So it's always trying to go forward, whether it be forward with new ideas, forward with new emotions, forward with new feelings, new people, new environments. It's a it's the go-getter, and it's passionate, and it's warrior energy. And when I say warrior energy, I don't just mean like physically fighting um, for a cause, but the warrior energy. Back in the days, the warriors weren't just like fighters, but they were also the people that would go to new lands and experience new cultures and would bring it back to the people that they lived amongst. So basically, with that type of energy, it's like an enterprising. Like you would start a new thing. You know how to bring new ideas to light. You know how to introduce ideas from other places, information, bring them connection, and bring them to where you from, or you know how to start an idea. You might not necessarily be that good at finishing an idea, um, or they might need help finishing, but they don't really like the Aries energy itself doesn't really like to like get help or acquire help, um, just because they feel like they should be able to do everything on their own, and that's that Mars energy, the fire energy. That's a little selfish because they like to do everything by themselves, just to show that independence, just to show that they didn't need anybody to help them in the first place. Um, they can also be very, like I said, very enterprising. Um, you got to think to start something, to be enterprising, to start a new idea, to break new ground or to break fresh ground on something. You have to go out on a limb, and you kind of have to go forward and just do the idea and be able to tweak the idea later. That's where that energy comes from. It's a very strong, passionate energy, and I'm not just talking about what like the typical old Aries is the fighter, the war. They will fight, but it's deeper than that. It's because you got to think about it. Even when you trying to break new ground on an idea, that's you in a fight for to get the idea across, or to get it manifested, or to get it the visual, or to get it to where you're trying to get it to. Um, Aries is also uh, the uh, I don't want to say a leader. It's not really a leader, but okay. In the case of like, I don't know if my comic book fans out there, like, if we was talking about X-Men, um, Aries would be Wolverine, and the Leo would be Cyclops. You see what I'm saying? It's not really so much of a uh, a leader in the traditional sense of take orders and follow these orders and do this and do this and do this stuff. Not so much about a group, but just a rogue pioneer, as in going out and blazing a trail for what it's trying to do. Aries is more of a leader by example, so like it'll be an example for the good or an example for the bad, but it's an example nonetheless. Um, Aries can get if you get the Aries energy that's kind of unconfident, that could turn into like being a people pleaser. Just because you have an energy that is used to being alone, or being not alone, but being like a loner, going off and doing things by itself and just enjoying things alone. And then if you get it around different groups of people, the energy might get attached to Aries. Also can get attached. That's the part that they really don't want to let you know. But Aries energy can get attached. Um, when you get it around that kind of situation, they can try to do everything to keep those people around because they're comfortable with those people. So that's where you get that warrior soldier energy from. it can fall into the trap of doing that if it's on that if it's on that side of the spectrum too much, and it can lose all sense of who it is or what itself is, trying to please a group of people or trying to prove a point. And 9 times out of 10, the people around the Aries energy know that that's what's going on, so they're gullible. They're gullible people. They're naive because they believe in actually doing the right thing, whatever that entails in the situation. But that's what they believe in, doing the right thing. So it can be kind of gullible, um, thinking that everybody's intentions are up front and to the point, and because it's Mars, it's the masculine side of Mars, which is Scorpio is the feminine side of Mars, which is more of a hidden type of energy, more of a uh, behind closed doors type of energy, where Aries is more of an upfront in your face kind of energy. Um, but like I said, these people are extremely passionate. These people are extremely passionate. The opposite side, I'm gonna do a video because the neighbor signs, because both all the energies share planets with each other. So there's the two energies that are on the same planet. I like to call them, those are your neighbors, and then there's a energy that's an opposite of that energy, and I call that your partner. So you have your, you know what I'm saying, you have your neighbors, you can learn from your neighbors. Your neighbors on the same, you on the same street as your neighbors. So for better or for worse, whatever happens on that street, for better or for worse, affects you and your neighbor, but it affect you and your neighbor in a different way, and you and your neighbor might respond to it in a different way. But since both of y'all are trying to get the benefits of being on that same street, it might be something that you do that your neighbor doesn't do, that they might see you do it, and then they might learn from you, and vice versa. It might be something that you see your neighbor do that you wasn't thinking about doing, and you might do it. So that's why I like to call the the planets, the, like I said, the two energies that share the same planet, those are your neighbors. They're neighbors. And then of course, like, you got the opposition, and then I'm moving a lot, but you got your opposition. Excuse me. Go ahead, pop that back in on this little Apple mic. But then you got your opposition. I ain't posting this, bro. then you got your opposition, and then your opposition is the opposition of Aries is Libra. So um Aries people kind of resent having help because they think of that as a sign of weakness. Because I have a moon in Aries, so I'm telling you, like, really, like, really, they think of that as a sign of weakness, or they think of it as a sign of you know what I'm saying, like, I couldn't do it on my own type deal. When teamwork make the dream work, that's something that Aries can learn from its opposite, which is Libra. Um, what Aries could learn from Libra is to be a little bit more balanced and be a little bit more accommodating of other people without going all the way in and having to sacrifice yourself or what you're trying to do, or put your own self on the chopping block, thinking that these people, or having to go out and do everything, thinking that these people don't know how to do anything, or they only can do it, or you're the only person that knows how to do it, or you can exhaust your energy and waste a lot of energy when you can work together with a group. You have to learn how to trust people and make sure everybody's not trying to manipulate you, but make sure to have that balance between your own solo goals and solo missions, and then with your some things that might need expanding on. You can learn that from Libra just by, what I'm saying, working together with other people, and knowing that just because somebody has an idea, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't incorporate both ideas and make it something even better than what it was originally. That's something that you can learn from Libra. Um, Also, too, it's like I said earlier, Aries is a fire sign, so you have you have three signs per element, and then you have three modalities per element. So the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Aries is the cardinal, Leo is the fixed, and Sagittarius is the mutable. So Yeah. Let's see. Where was I going with that? Okay, so Aries. Okay, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Perfect example. So my Aries moon, right? My hair not cut. Um, looking kind of rough. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I feel like this is important to get it out because if I don't get it out, I'm not gonna want to get it out later. But I'm in the mode to do this. I'm in the. This is the. I feel like doing this. So you know what I'm saying? I'm looking kind of rough. I ain't gonna lie. So Aries is cardinal though. So Aries, once it gets an idea to do something, it's going the energy wants to just jump out and do it, and it's not thinking about presentation. Whereas the fire sign Leo is all about presentation. So what an Aries can learn from a Leo is, which I'm not doing in this video, and I find it funny that I'm doing the Aries video, but next time. Maybe the Leo video I'll be a little bit more put together. But but the what was I saying? The You can learn that from Leo to present, and presenting something well might get people to follow you a little bit more. Might get people a little bit more apt to listen to you because you have to worry about how you present what you're breaking ground on or the next thing that you're trying to do. Whereas Aries is kind of like a lightning strike, like bam, I want to do it, let's do it right now. And then they go do it, and then to the Aries it might be like, oh, I just did it, but it sometimes you rub people the wrong way. Like I said, from Leo, you can learn how to present things in a better way versus rough versus you know what I'm saying, just trying to like shit. You could just present things in a better way, and it's not so much as changing what you're doing, but just dressing it up. That's what that's what you can learn from Leo. And then the fire sign Sagittarius, shit everywhere, bro. Outside, baby, like nature, baby. No mask off, future, like mask off. But Sagittarius, you can learn from Sagittarius to just kind of go with the flow and to kind of be wise about where you do certain things. Have wisdom. Have a wisdom because the Aries can get caught up in a lot of trivial shit. And when I say trivial, like I said, bro, rough. like, but like Aries can get caught up in a lot of like trivial shit, like tit for tat pettiness, the immature. You can get caught up in that, and then a Sagittarius can teach you, even though yeah you're the fighter, you want to push forward, and then your idea could be right and you could be correct and things like that. But a Sagittarius will teach you when to go and when not to go, when to move and when not to move, and then why you're doing the things that you're doing. Because Sagittarius is the fire sign that's about wisdom and knowledge and teaching, and Aries is the first fire sign, which is about passion and desire. So Aries, Sagittarius can teach you when to pursue your desires and when not to pursue your desires. And also Sagittarius can teach you how to sometimes, because Aries is kind of like on a straight trajectory. So like once I'm doing something, I'm ending and I'm going this way. A Sagittarius can teach you to kind of like take the scenic route. You get what I'm saying? Like kind of like, yes, of course you want to get to the goal. Yes, of course you want to do this, but you going so straight, you might miss something that it can help you with your goal. You might miss something that you should incorporate in your plans. You might miss something that'll lead you to your goal quicker and then better than what you were doing. It's not about not hitting the mark. It's about not missing the stuff on the way to hitting the mark, like smelling the roses kind of things. And Aries don't like to really smell the roses just because it wants to hit. Once it gets, I want to do this and I'm going to do this. That's all as tunnel vision. So that's what it can learn from Sagittarius. And also just to kind of, you know what I'm saying, lighten up a little bit. And then what it can learn from Scorpio is neighbor signs. Like I said before, I'm gonna do a series about the neighbors, what you can learn from your neighbor, what you might not like about your neighbor, what you do like about your neighbor. What it can learn from its neighbor is sometimes to hide your passions and motivations. Sometimes don't put everything out on Front Street. Sometimes not to be, bro, everywhere. Bugs, bro. Sometimes not to be so in your face about it. Sometimes to be subtle. Sometimes to be underneath the undercurrent. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes to kind of hide it, because if 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 Aries is the masculine and the feminine. So if Aries is the masculine, like I said, it's just extroverted and introverted. So if all your passion is out on Front Street, people can see you coming from a mile away. That might not necessarily be a good thing. If so, they know what you want before you even get there. Whereas Scorpio, they might not see you coming from a mile away. So that might be a little better depending on what you're trying to get done or who you're dealing with. So, like I said, from the Scorpio, you can learn the subtlety. You know what I'm saying? You can learn the privacy is the correct word. You can learn everything don't got to be on Front Street. Some things can just be from you. That's crazy. Dog barking. It's a nice day, though. And to try to get outside, everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you can, try to get some fresh air, get some sun, chill out. But yeah, the enterprising, the Aries, beautiful energy, though. Pure energy. I have some more stuff, but I think I pretty much covered it. So yeah, just sometimes let other people help. That don't mean they stealing your. I mean, I'm saying sometimes let other people help you out. So everybody not your enemy, Aries. And that was my sun sign Aries video, and that's DE Astrology.